San Clemente. We're so glad you're here with us. It's okay. We'll take another one. We got plenty. We're glad you're here with us in this sanctuary and out there in video land, and we'd like you to please stand and join us for our first brand new sing-along song for the month of April. It's a song by Jennifer Russell called Center of Creation, and we've got Rick Dale to lead us along in this.
Issues this morning. Good morning, beautiful center. Good morning. I'm Reverend Carla Shiratis, and we thank you for bringing into our atmosphere of worship the gift of your presence here this morning. There are two central things that we are hardwired for, and one of those is seeking or discovering our own spirituality and our relationship with the divine. The other is our need to do this through community. And so how beautiful is it that we're all here together? And we do this on Sundays by celebrating the music, the message, and most importantly, the fellowship that we create with each other. So welcome. We're going to start this morning with our opening ceremony, lighting the flames of faith. We perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from one great universal presence, which we call Spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of compliance with the will of God as the highest calling. We light the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And as practitioner Faith Mackey lights the last candle, let it represent the path that brought you here this morning. And practitioner Faith is going to open us up with our morning centering prayer.
Good morning, everybody. Today is a brand new month. So we have a brand new topic, if you will. And the topic is creativity. So let's go into prayer. So what I know right here and right now is that there is only one. And this creator that I call God is the creator of all life, the creator of my life, the creator of all your life. And I know that I am connected with my source called God. And God is right here, right now, in this room, present within, everywhere present. And so I know that this month is creativity. So I know that we are aware of where we have our talents and gifts. We are aware of what we can do and how we can express creativity in our lives. So we move forth this month being open to inviting the creativity to dwell within us and to spring up and to show us new parts of ourselves that we haven't yet discovered. And so I am so happy and I am so grateful for allowing this beautiful, beautiful energy of God that is the creative part of who we are. And so I release this prayer into the law, knowing that it is done right here and right now. And I anchor it by saying with all of you, and so it is. Thank you. Okay, so now I'm going to read the affirmation. So read it with me. I know myself as spirit knows me. Creative, unique, wonderful, and so it is. And now I'm going to read the Declaration of Principle. I believe in God, the one creative intelligence operating throughout the universe and operating throughout my entire being now and always. I believe this perfect spirit operates upon a law of mind and creates my experience exactly according to my belief. I believe this perfect creative intelligence can be used by me and by every other person to create health, abundance, and love in mind, body, and total life experience. I use it now, and I rejoice in it. And so it is.
Thank you, Faith. And now it's my pleasure to welcome our guest host this morning, our very own beloved Rick Dell.
Well, I gave up being creative about 20 years ago. But just before that, I wrote this song. It's called Come On, Everybody. Some people will tell you lies, stab you in the back or look in you in the eye. The red falls on the just and the unjust, but who just stole my umbrella? Everybody wants a heart of gold. Everybody wants
Rick Dell. Thank you for putting a little pep in our giddy this morning, Rick. Well, our yearly theme is Living Everyday Wonder. I do love that. And each preceding month we've been talking about that very idea, and April's theme is creativity. And here to give us a little bit of insight on that idea is Dave Friedman. He's a practitioner and he is a life coach, and we are absolutely thrilled to have him. Please welcome Dave Friedman.
Good morning. Nice looking crowd. Thank you, Rick. That was great. I'm just going to dance for a minute while I put this back together. Creativity. They have these things planned out. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to see what they have in mind and then try and put something together that makes sense. The other part of what they talked about with regards to creativity is saying yes. Ooh, I heard that. So what do you say yes to? I like that. The good stuff. Life. It's all good stuff, isn't it, though? Can be. Would you like to come up here? You got some great thoughts. I love it. Thank you. We are this concept of chips off the old block. You know, I'm the first one that heard me say that. Yeah, that's really a good thing. But there's this guy named Rocco Errico. You any heard of him? Yeah, he's really something, isn't he? Dude's a scholar, a biblical scholar. And he speaks and writes in Aramaic. Aramaic is the original language that Jesus spoke back in the days. I think Rocco was actually, Rocco, hey, Jesus, I'll take care of you, man. I actually heard him do the Lord's Prayer in Aramaic. Wow, what a nice language that is. Yeah, it was very cool. I felt a little uplifted. He's a world-renowned Bible. He talked about Jesus, and he also said, we are God's chips off the old block. I guess he had a better marketing team than I did. Another way to look at that, and this one goes out to you, Reverend Judy, Rumi. We are more than just single drops of water. We are the ocean of wonder, magnificence, and majesty, and we present that out as our magnificent lives. And back to me, we are all that. We do, as drops of water in the ocean, we have all of what the ocean has in us. We're just not the ocean. But we've got it all in us, and that's important to remember. So however you visualize it, whatever it is that works for you, can we agree this morning that we are individually and collectively the face and the body of creation itself? Thank you. My work here is done. If we live and move and have our being in God, then it makes sense that God is living and moving and have its being in us and as us, and that's how we present, right? So if we take us out of the picture, we can see that all thoughts, ideas, all art, all songs, inspiration, creativity, musings, flashes of brilliance, they come to us from divine mind. I also expect that love, compassion, and beauty come from the same place. That's like one-stop shopping. Everything you need. Okay, so there's one of us. We are as that is. We are as Gus is. Remember Gus? Some people call it God. Some people call it universe. Some people call it spirit. G-U-S, Gus. We are Gus. We vibrate at the level of Gus as we are able to accept what that is. Reminds me of a Beach Boys song. Gus, 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 Gus vibration. But as humans, the physical beings that we are, we each vibrate at different frequencies, and we view the world through different filters. We're artists, we're parents, we're musicians, teachers, metaphysicians, CPAs. It is through this framework that we have all these different ways to express ourselves, to express Gus. It all starts with this thing called an idea. There's a guy by the name of Robin Sharman. He wrote a book called The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. Everything happens twice. I know we've heard this in various themes. First in thought, and then in reality. Our thoughts create our reality. We think thoughts, and we experience what we think because the universe has one answer. Bingo. Gold star for faith. Woo! That is the answer. Yes, for those at home, the answer the universe always gives us is yes. And we also have to remember that it's both our conscious mind and our unconscious mind that is creating. So we are creating whether we want to or not. I didn't really want that. Yeah, but you must have thought it somewhere, because there it is. Always creating, always saying yes. Henry Ford said, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're always going to be right, because you create that. And I love this quote by Ernest Holmes. If we believe that it will not work, it really works by appearing to not work. Right? So we make our statement, we state our belief, and the universe has one answer.
Yes.
Thank you. So I'm going to spread this out a little bit. There's two parts of this. There's what we do on purpose, and there's what we're guided to do. What we do on purpose is what we, the person, consciously does. We have a thought, we have an idea, we decide to do something, we put a plan together, and we execute. Then there's this other part that we are guided to do this, and that is brought to us by intuition, or what I call the muse. Here's a teaser. I'm going to talk about that later, give it a third name. Can we separate thoughts from ideas? Is there really any kind of a difference? Where do they come from? They come from wherever they are. Do they come from a past life? Do they come from Gus? Maybe they're hanging out in aisle 6 at the thought section, waiting for us to pick them up. Any way you look at it, we probably do not create the original thought. Original thought. There's an idea for another talk. I'm sorry about that. Good morning, Josh. How are you, man? There have been times when I've noticed a thought, an idea, or a direction, maybe just that little bit of guidance, just kind of float back me as I'm getting ready for doing something. I peripherally notice these thoughts, barely. Maybe just like a passing, how you doing, nod of awareness. But for whatever reason at the time, I didn't respond. The message might have been as simple as grabbing an extra water bottle. Or maybe, I should pick up some tomatoes. It could be as serious as something else gets in the way of visiting a sick friend and finding out later, I don't really want to go there, but we've all heard these examples. And not that I'm keeping score, but I am aware that most of those intuitive nudges, most of those are right, more often than not. Thank you. Thank you very much. Vodka? Thank you, Diane. There you go. When we become aware of these inklings, what's the best thing to do? Thank you. Say yes, right? And that's okay, you said it over here. In my opinion, these are always right. And because Gus is always right and we are always being guided, we can't really ever be guided wrong. Where do you receive your messages? There you go. Diane does like this. Yeah, I don't mean in the garage. I mean where in your body do you receive them? When you get those inklings and nigglings, whatever, how often do you actually listen to them? Most of us. Yeah, that's something to really start paying attention to as you want to be more conscious. Find your way through this world as part of all that that is. We want to go there. And when you get them, do you like crawl up in your brain and try and figure it out? Oh yeah, this means this, this means the other thing. Sometimes the message delivered very clearly is 100% counterintuitive. Is 100% counter actually intuitive? Never mind. So it's counterintuitive. You say, that can't be right. But it is. Often. And when we listen and when we respond to our intuitive nudges, we actually dance with creation itself. There's this great story told by Elizabeth Gilbert. She was interviewing this woman, a poet, and she says that, I can sense this idea coming at me like a cloud. And I have to hurry up and go write it down, because if I don't, it's going to pass through me. And it's going to go find somebody else. It'll be gone forever. That happens to me all the time. Not the cloud, but, thinking, and I got to write this down. That's what phones are good for. Pay attention to the inklings. What that also means to me is that because she is getting that, and we're not always all the time being bombarded by all of these messages, it speaks to the point that we vibrate on different levels. Even though we are all one, we all hear things and feel things differently. And everything that comes to us is for us personally. It is only for me that I get my messages. And you know that because you hear it. We have a number of musicians here, and we're all completely different. Because even though we hang out in that same space, we hear and feel those vibrations differently. You got Rick here. He hears the vibration of music. Karen, creativity, art. Kathy and Tony, very creative with the food that we have in the back. Reverend Alice, she stands up here with really only a half idea what she wants to. She said that. I didn't just make that up. But she stands up here open and allows Spirit to be her voice, to be her message. She is the conduit for the message. And she listens. And we love the way she speaks. So I was going to share a personal example. Becoming a coach wasn't really part of my plans. Quite honestly, I didn't have a plan. I was just doing what I was doing. But I must have been open, because the process by which that happened, it's almost like it happened without me. I found myself, of course, I started saying yes to stuff. A few years ago, I started this thing, well, anything that comes my way, say yes, which is kind of why I'm here today. But I started that, and so I was at this talk, and there was a card on the stair, and I said yes to the card, and I filled it out, and I sent it in. I said yes to the conversation. I actually showed up for the conversation. Then, through that discussion, something pulled me to say yes, and so I signed up with this coach. A few lessons in, a few sessions in, I had this realization. Plain as day, coaching is my next step. Coaching is what I want to do. It wasn't, and boom, I said that. I forgot to say I said yes to the money to the coaching, and that's brand new for me to do that. But I was paying attention to no more than just the next logical step. The next thing you know, I made a decision, and I had a front row seat to what Ralph Waldo Emerson always says: when you make a decision, the universe conspires to make it happen for you. And everything just fell into place like dominoes. School showed up, some money showed up. I even ended up with some time to study. Everything cleared up. You know why? I said yes. Of course, after everything's given to me, I have to actually do the work. In practitioner class, we learned treat, but you have to move your feet. So we did that. And of course, I wanted to understand what I'm trying to do. It's also better to actively participate in what it is that you're doing. It is your life. Enjoy it. Play full out. It's a lot more fun when you do. And everything seems to work a little bit better. In my opinion, the sports world has some of the best examples of showing up in the face and body of creation itself. Sports fans? A couple of them? And we hear about these guys, they get into the zone. The announcer say, hey, he was unconscious. Yeah, he's still out there running around. But he's in the flow. He's done the work. He's put himself aside. And he's decided that he's just going to let God flow through him. And that is when you become a conduit for a transformational experience. It's God showing up as us. I expect a lot of you have had that experience. There's this great story about Sir Laurence Olivier, that he did this play and absolutely nailed it. It was transcendent. And he went backstage and he's kicking things and throwing stuff and swearing and everything. What's wrong with you? You just nailed that. That was amazing. He goes, I know. I don't know how I did it, and I'm not going to be able to do it again. He was open to that flow. When I coach, I invite spirit in to hang out. How you doing? Let's play. Because when I'm present and I'm in the game, I get what I call intuitive hits. And these show me how best to work with my clients. In fact, it's not me doing the work. It's actually easier for me when I don't. I just step by and I let, would Ralph Waldo Emerson say, get your bloated nothingness out of the way? So I just say, thank you, come on, I will be your conduit and make this work. From the textbook, the will of God is always towards that which expresses life and happiness. To suppose that the will of God could be in opposition to the advancement of our lives would be to think of spirit as being self-destructive. God can't be in opposition to itself. There's a great line from the Course in Miracles that says, it's been said that the opposite of love is fear, but that which is all-encompassing can't have an opposite. So if there is only that one thing, how can there be anything else? There is only love, and it is always seeking self-expression through us and will never deny us anything. And remember back, sometimes our thoughts are unconscious, but we get what we ask for. It's almost like a computer. Don't you hate them? They always give you what you ask for, never what you want. I got this story about this guy, Jason, walking down the beach, sees the lamp in the sand dune, picks it up, rubs it off. The genie comes out. It is my honor, thank you for freeing me from the lamp. It is my honor to give you 3 wishes. What would you like? Jason goes up, oh, this is great. I'd like to be rich. And the genie says, okay, Rich, what are your next 2 wishes? So be careful what you wish for. You just might get it. There's this idea about having genius versus being genius. We've come to accept genius as a person who has certain qualities, certain creativity, certain intellectual qualities. But way back in the 14th century, genius was a guardian or protective moral spirit who guides and governs an individual through life. It was a thing. It was out there, like Dobby. Is that Harry Potter's house elf, Dobby? It suggests that we are not geniuses, but that we are visited by this feeling that we call genius. It's not us. It's just visiting us. And then some few hundred years ago, psychologists decided that we are geniuses. And that's when we started to see what I call the tortured soul syndrome. Because if we have genius, we're not solely responsible for what happens. But if we are genius, then it's all on us. And isn't that a huge responsibility? It's all me or nothing. Most equate genius with intelligence and creativity. Many with the arts. But everybody has genius. Everybody. Everybody is creative. I don't care who you are or what you do. You are creative in your way. Albert Einstein says, if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing it's stupid. So let us be open to what our muse says to us. We have to listen to them. You don't have to do anything. We can listen to these messages, and they will always guide us in our best direction. Say yes to the genius. So let's say we do our work, and it's going to take some work because we have a lot of untraining and retraining to do. And we get really good at saying yes. Just as an aside, when I started saying yes, my life started falling into place. It's still falling, but. So I have this theory. We've decided we're all one as that is. But we all have our own space. There's kind of two, maybe 1.5. And the thing that is over here in us is what we call our ego. Think of the ego as a sentient being. As that, its sole purpose in life is survival. That's all. Don't take it personal. We also call it the roommate, the chatterer, gremlins. It's the voices in our head. When we say yes to spirit, when we embark on anything that raises our level of soulness to get us closer to the oneness of the spirit that we really are, that's not good for the ego. And the ego say, yeah, you're not going up there. Come on back down here with me. Don't take it personal. He's just trying to survive. Once I got this, when I started feeling that resistance, it was easier for me to move around it. Thanks, man, we're good. I don't need you here right now. And there is a safety thing, and there's a lot of history behind your gremlins and your roommates. But when you're trying to become a better version of yourself, that resistance is trying to keep you from that just because it wants to live. I have some lists, just so you can have some awareness of the little things that insidiously show up to keep you from your best self. Anytime you're about to pursue writing, painting, film, dance, any creative art, there's going to be a little voice in the head and say, you can't do that. What do you think you are? You can't do that. What if you're going to start a business? Whoa, what are you, crazy? Any health regimen, any diet, any program of spiritual advancement. Yeah, the ego has a good problem with that one because those two seem constantly at odds. Any activity whose aim is chiseled abs, the ego's going to say, that cookie looks really good, doesn't it? Any act that involves a commitment to the heart. What is that decision? What is best for you? And we think about all these other things. Ego versus soul. Listen to your heart, Tom Petty. And taking the principled stand in the face of adversity, which oftentimes is not the easiest choice, but it's what's good for the soul. And we can probably think of times when I should have done this, and for whatever reason, I didn't. And don't you just feel a little bit more like this? We don't want to feel like this. This is not the world I want to live in. You know, I want to live in this kind of world. So what I call also the ego is the little s self, the human self. And what I'd like to do now, I think we have a couple minutes, is try a quick visioning. The subtle difference between visualization and visioning. Visualization is when you decide you want something and you own it and you picture it and you put it up there and you feed yourself into it and look to make it happen. It was just a powerful process, by the way. Visioning is when we get quiet and listen to messages. Okay? So, if you like, grab a piece of paper. There seems to be a lot of extra pieces of paper around today. Something to write with, or you can use your phone, or you don't have to do anything. Just sit and be in the process. I'm going to take a minute and get centered. Feel yourself in this moment. Feel yourself connected, viscerally connected to all that is. For me, I feel it in my body. I know that I'm connected to the one that is. So connected, take a breath, embrace it, bring it in, take it in. It's all good. Know that you are as divine energy is. It is who you are. First question. What is Spirit's highest vision for me, my life? What wants to emerge as me? Listen. Listen. However insane it is, write it down. Who must I become to manifest this vision? What qualities must I cultivate so that I am ready? I'm the fertile soil through which this vision can grow. What must I let go to bring this vision into being? We need space to welcome it. What strengths, capacities, and talents do I already possess to bring this vision into being a reality? What do I already have that will help bring this out? Last question. Ask Spirit, is there anything else that I need to know? So when you're ready, welcome back to the room. Any surprises? Good. Can you see yourself saying yes? But of course. By saying yes to your vision, by saying yes to Spirit, you are saying yes to the best and highest version of yourself. understand that there may be some resistance. It's a new path. Your ego wants nothing to do with your spiritual growth. It's a natural thing. But now you know that. You're aware of it. And because y'all are a chip off the old block, that old block planted this idea in you. Not only planted it, but is here to support you. And that idea that you got is specifically for you. Yes, you. It's a beautiful thing. And as Spirit uses us to exemplify itself, to show off it, whatever, it's also invested in its own growth through and as us. So if Gus is personally invested in giving you ideas, is personally invested in helping these ideas to come to fruition, because that's what it does, how can you lose? I'm thinking he can't, because Gus will never steer us wrong. Go for it. Embrace your vision. Say yes. Try it. Say yes. Yes. Say it like you mean it. Yes. There you go. You got this. So it is. Thank you. Now I'd like to bring Rick back up. Throw a little music at us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Friedman. Another hand for Dave. I got all inspired, so I've got a whole bunch of things I'm going to work on. You ready, band? Yeah? Okay. Ricky, take it away.
Well, way back in the 70s, I asked God, what rock band should I be listening to? And God said, yes. No. God said, Johnny Nash. I get it clearly now, the rain is gone, and I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny
Rick Dale.
Y'all filled up with sunshine? Y'all filled up with the power of yes? Yes. I've got one more for you. One more opportunity for the power of yes, and that's our offertory today. You know, the offertory, tithing, giving, it's a spiritual principle. It's not only a spiritual principle, but it's a law. It's a law. As we give, we shall receive, and this is our opportunity. We tithe to where we are nourished, we are fed. And I certainly feel fed this morning and nourished, don't you? Yes. So let's read our offertory together. It's up on the screen. My offering is my acceptance of God as the source of my supply and symbolizes my faith in the abundant flow of this supply. And we have 3 offertory baskets here in our center. One is at the back door, one is at the front door, and one is in the back. So please feel free to give your gift. It supports our center, it supports our programs, it supports you, and it supports this idea of what faith is about. You can also give for those online today. You can give at CSLCV, and we truly appreciate it. So we are going to celebrate with Diane's music now.
The rain has moved on and left a new day. Nothing seems to move, everything is still. It's just a perfect day. The shadows and light that move with the wind, hidden violets grow, splashed with summer spray. Just another perfect day. On the wild and misty hillside comes a glow of morning. Through the clouds we see the light of day. And all of this world is for children who play. Days that never end always should remain. Another perfect the wild and misty hillside comes the glow of morning. Through the clouds we see the light of day. And all of this world is for children who play. Days that never end always should remain. Another perfect day. Yes, all of this world is here for our play. Everything is still in this
Beautiful. Thank you, Diane. We'd like to extend a few more thank yous to our beautiful music makers, this creative force that grounds us each and every Sunday. Thank you all so much. To Rick Dell for bringing us his sunshine this morning. Let's give another round of applause to Dave Friedman for the power of yes. We love you. And I'd like to just take this opportunity to ask everybody or anybody that has been in service this week to stand up. We'd like to acknowledge you. Thank you for your beautiful service. These beautiful individuals are the ones that help us each and every Sunday or doing all kinds of other things throughout the week to make this whole center work. So we give such great thanks. And next we'd like to thank our practitioners this morning that are serving. Faith Mackey, Paula Manis, and Lori Ann Whitty, and they're going to be available to you for prayer, and this is our gift to you, so take advantage of it. There's 2 stations in the back and 1 in our tranquility room. Please, right after service, get a prayer, get filled up for the week. Anything on your mind that you need to just release? Couldn't be a better place to do it than right there, so please do so. And now it is time for our acknowledgments.
Invitations, whatever we call them. Before we get to start, I just want to make sure that you all give a nice warm welcome to our new permanent bass player, Mr. Lou Savage. We're so grateful to have him join our family up here on Bandstand. And yeah, just thank you to Dave on drums and Ed on guitar also. Thanks to guys.
And thanks to Diane for playing the keyboards. Invitations. Next Sunday, April 10th, we are having a twofer. The guest musicians and the guest speakers will be the duo of Reverend Dr. Melissa Philippe and Rev Z. Egloff. It'll be great. Then, after the service, the 2 of them will present a 2-hour workshop on TLC. In this case, TLC stands for Truth in Love Communication. They'll teach a process that strengthens the mind-body connection using a process taught by Dr. John Sarn. They have experienced healing from back, neck, and knee pain, chronic fatigue, migraines, and much more. Please sign up on the kiosk for the workshop. A light lunch will be provided, so it's a threefer. There's also a sign-up sheet for Bunko Night later this month. Woohoo! And remember to RSVP for Reverend Alice's installation ceremony on Friday, May 6th at 6:30. And if you're looking for ways to connect with people during the week, we have 3 small groups that meet on Zoom. You will find the list of the groups in the back of the room. You are also welcome to stay after the service for an in-person small group discussion of today's message. This group is called Conscious Connection. And that is our invitations. And now I invite you one more time to stand and sing. Our closing song will be Stand.
1, 2.
Here we go. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for
as it is, and you are a beautiful representation of it. Own it, love it, be it. Say yes. Yes. So it is.